Hi, I'm Ned and I make games. This video is from my live stream over on twitch.tv/nedmakesgames, where I'm live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 p.m. US Eastern Time. I'd love to see you there. Alright. Hey everybody. Hope you all had a great week so far. Looking forward to the weekend. My since last stream it's been pretty good. I am a little tired today, but yeah, after a whole week of hard work. But I think I've got enough energy to do some Mario Party. So yeah, that's what we're going to work on more tonight. I did have a chance last night to finally figure out that bug. I was in the middle of refactoring some stuff, it looks like, so I can't show you immediately the results, but thankfully the fix isn't too difficult, or wasn't like too extensive. Mostly it had to do, let me see, how can I explain this? So when I raycast with a smaller collider so that it doesn't scrape against walls, I still want like there to be a distance on all sides of the actual collider to the, or the actual capsule to the wall that it's hitting. So that, and what happened is that when we would move, the capsule would kind of like sink into the collider and then pop back out when we stopped moving. So what you have to do is you first, you cast the shrunken capsule, and then you see the distance it's hit, and then you need to subtract a certain correction, which has to do, it's like the sine of the angle between the cast ray and the surface, which just happens to be the cosine of the angle between the cast ray and the normal vector. Anyway, so you find that correction by dividing the inset by that sine value, and then you can basically you back up the collider so that it's a certain distance from the plane it hits in the normal direction. So that keeps it from sinking down. There were some other bugs, but they're not any big deal, I don't think. But yeah, so I made this whole other class because I was experimenting with things. Yeah, and I did this whole thing where I would do like multiple ray casts and stuff. It had the same problem, so I need to clean up some of this stuff. Another thing I did which improved. So after I got it working, I noticed that it was still, the movement was still kind of not smooth, and the reason is because I was moving the actual rigid body, or not, I was moving the transform instead of the rigid body. So and since I was updating during fixed update, it can't think of the right term, the movement was I guess staggered. So you can fix that by using let me see here. Oh yeah, you can use the move position. Yeah, this move position function. But you'll notice here I was testing to see if the rigid body position updates when you call this. It doesn't actually, so I kind of I have to keep track of the updated position myself, which is what I'm having to refactor all this stuff to take care of. Yeah, so I was in the middle of that when I ran out of time. So oh yeah, so the problem I was having now is really the only thing that uses the actual transform position is the character collider class when we call this capsule caster cast function. So we just need to pass in the position here. Doing that kind of makes this whole component a little redundant, but we can always remove it later. I guess it still does have some useful things like this inset property. Okay, so Okay, and then here, yeah, we passed the positions now, but the function hasn't been updated to take the position array. And then we need to pass the position here. Okay. Yeah, and then we just pass it there. Okay, and then the same. Oh, what's it complaining about? Cannot convert from float 3 to float 3. Oh, right. So if we do the same thing in this function, it should be all set. Oh, wait. This doesn't even need the position, so I won't bother passing it through here, I guess. Okay. There's no argument. Oh yeah, so here, the check grounded. We just need to pass the position down here. Okay, so hopefully everything I just did won't break it. Yeah, so we can finally move and there's no dipping into the ground, and we do have the gravity turned on because here we can see that even when I'm standing still, there's a cast downwards. And it works even against walls and against diagonal walls. And we can still, like here I'm sliding and it still works there. Now the problem, I don't know if you noticed, but sometimes when I go against this diagonal wall, the movement is really fast or really slow. And I think it's, if you look at these logs here, which I know is hard to see, it's not happening, but sometimes, I think what happens is that even though, since the inset is still really small, it can still sometimes think that it's colliding with the wall. Yeah, so right. When it slides past it like this. And I think to fix that, I'm just going to check to see if the normal of the collision surface and the cast direction are perpendicular, then we'll just ignore the cast because it, you know, isn't actually collision. There isn't actually a collision there. Yeah, so I put it in here. Yeah, that's why I had this function. It was for a different iteration, but let's see. So I guess we'll just say is perpendicular. So basically, if it's a perpendicular collision, then we just will pretend like it didn't actually hit. So if okay, so hopefully this will fix that. We probably, I mean, yeah. Oh. Okay. For some reason that disabled collisions when we're going straight down, which is the opposite, because when you're going straight down, it should be parallel. Okay, so I think I did this backwards, so it should be like if the dot, oh wait. Yeah, because if it's a dot product with a normal in the cast direction, that should be 0 when they're perpendicular. Okay, so we know what happens on the very first frame. So let's just check. I'll comment this out and then check what the very first debug log is. Okay, so hit. So the cast is downward and the normal is upward. So if you dot product that, that's 0 and then -1, 0. So it comes out to -1. But then don't we, I do absolute value, right? Oh, I know what. This should be, yeah, if this is false. Okay, so that was kind of silly of me. Yeah, so if it's not a perpendicular collision, we want to handle it. Okay. So far, yeah, and a couple symptoms of it is like, it seems like the collider would go faster against the wall, and then sometimes it would move and then like jump backwards because it was trying to correct. But I'm not getting that to happen again, so I think we're good. All right, so let's add, excuse me, let's add back in jumping and see how that. Okay, so we need, for jumping, we need to have the grounded check, and then the jump. Okay, thank goodness that still works. So I want to also check if I jump against the wall. Okay, so that was kind of. Yeah, so there's still a little bit. Yeah, for some reason you can jump higher if you're against the wall, and I can only assume that's because the correction raycast is like pushing it upwards when it shouldn't. Let's see. So I'll do that. All right, so hit. Okay, so this gives us like a net. It's still a net raycast. Okay, so I guess this is. Oh no, it's not. I'm looking for like when the correction is larger than the hit, because that would push everything up. But I guess it doesn't necessarily have to happen during one frame. Hmm. So the problem is it's hard to read these because you can have multiple casts during one frame. All right, so here, let me see. So it's moving mostly downwards, but a little bit towards the Z direction. Okay, so the hit length was negative. When can that happen? I think... Okay, so this is actually, yeah, the distance minus a correction. So yeah, whenever the hit distance is negative, then it's like pushing backwards, which is probably what's making it jump up higher. So here are... I mean, I guess we could clip the hit distance to be positive always, but that seems... like just a band-aid. I mean, we could take the maximum or saturate it, basically. But, okay, so here the cast is slightly in the Z direction, but mostly downward. And then the normal... Okay, so the normal, yeah, is straight in the negative Z direction, so yeah, it's up against this wall. Okay, so I think, yeah, the problem there is that it's not quite, I mean, it's not quite perpendicular, but I guess it's enough for this hit to cause an issue. So I wonder, you could just try. Let's just try making sure this is never less than 0 and see what happens. Okay. Well, actually, it seems to do the job. I wonder... Well, I don't know. Like, for a real platformer, I feel like this is going to expose the game to, like, you know, ways that you can get through the walls. But I think for our purposes, it seems to fix the bug. So, yeah, I kind of I want to move on because we've been messing with these colliders for, like, the last 3 sessions. But yeah, so it seems like, yeah, now when I press up against the wall, I get the same height as I do when I'm away from the wall. Okay. Alright, so I like the jump. There is one strange thing, is yeah, you can kind of do that, which seems unnatural. And the reason is because near the apex of the jump, you can change your acceleration, and I think you can just change it too much. So let me... I mean, yeah, I guess we don't need to spend too much time. But yeah, I think we just need to change the apex jump acceleration multiplier. So you can still, we want to be able to change your direction a little bit, but it was just too powerful. Yeah, that feels a little better. All right. So, okay, so now that we're done with that, let's try to add another character. I'm gonna apply all these overrides. And yeah, get another character. And this one will be a CPU for now, and we'll just turn off this input character controller so our keys don't move it. We'll need to make, you know, an AI, or we're going to support local multiplayer, so we'll have to deal with that as well. But for now, I just want to make sure that I can actually collide into it. Okay, and you're right, it doesn't... I want it to act differently than the walls, because on the walls we can press up against it and slide along. But I don't really want that to happen with the character, so... Yeah, because when you press into a character, I want the character to move away from you. First, let's get rid of all these debug logs, I guess. Okay. So one thing I do, I have I added this component called a controller tag. Which actually these are incorrect. You should just, oh, okay, well the thing is that we only have a wall there yet. So this lets me like tag different colliders to have different properties. So we'll have one for walls and then one for other players. Okay, so now I'll turn off character. So yeah, now these are just tagged as a wall. And now let's add it to the prefab so it'll show up on both of our characters. Okay. And the reason I want to do that is because when we collide with a character, we'll want to spawn a different type of collision event. So there I'm just checking to see if the collider hit type has this flag as part of it. What's it complaining about? It needs a curly brace. Or it needs a semicolon, but I'm not missing any parentheses. Okay, well, maybe it'll fix itself. Okay, so this will be... Okay, we need to add another collision type. Okay, oh, actually, I already had a character. Yeah, we don't need that floor collision type anymore. Let's change this to character bump, because there'll be another type of collision type that we'll need to take it into account when we jump on a character's head. So in this type, we will just push the character as we move. And so to do this, I guess we don't have to worry about it now, but probably we'll want it to only happen when we're like on the ground, not jumping. And maybe when we're jumping, we'll just do a slide. Okay, so let's make another class to take care of it. Okay, so this time... Okay, so I guess we'll have a source character, and then also... I guess I'll call it second character. Oh, I already had a hit character right there. Okay, that's fine. Right now, yeah, our collider doesn't give us that information, so I guess we'll need to add it. Okay, so to get the character ID, I think we only have as part of the character engine state, which I guess it can stay like that. Okay, so in cast utils of our character engine equals info dot collider get component character engine state. Okay, I guess I spelled something wrong. And then r dot hit. Oh, I don't add it yet. So hit character equals So character engine, if this is null, then we'll return -1. Otherwise, we'll return the actual character ID. All right. And so yeah, this is kind of a leftover. I have this like other structure that I kind of wanted to get rid of it, but yeah, it's like basically the same thing but with a different name. Well, I mean, if we, I guess it's fine to have like what I call a liaison class like this because it helps like decouple the collision, like the actual raycast from our collision logic, but it is kind of annoying to have to copy this stuff like that. But anyway, okay, so we have that, and now in the character. Okay, so now I need to add that the hit character here equals hit info dot hit character. Okay, it's still complaining about this. I don't know what it wants me to do. Kind of feel like that's a bug, but okay, so we'll handle a collision if it has the right type. So we'll need to pass collision description and then I guess both characters. Might need their positions as well because I want to kind of move the characters apart. And yeah, unfortunately we have to store the positions in a different array. I mean, I guess I could just store them in the engine state because we have the momentum and this movement already, which is... I probably should have done that, huh? That would be a little simpler. Okay, so let's say, I guess I'll just call it... Yeah, so this is like the position like in the middle of the logic. Okay, it's kind of annoying. I should have thought this through a little bit more, but yeah, I was working on this at like 11 a.m. yesterday, so... Or 11 p.m. Okay, so yeah, we'll set this to the current position of the rigid body. Yeah, so now I just gotta get rid of all that stuff I just added. Okay, and then at the... So I guess technically all these could use the actual transform, but I think it's probably safer this way. Okay, so yeah, we move the position and then... Oh yeah, so this is another bug. I didn't actually update the position in the array, so... That's interesting. I'm surprised anything actually worked. Maybe that was one of those bugs that we encountered. I guess I can just do a plus equals. And then, okay, and so then here we just move. Yeah, so you pass this the new position you want. I guess maybe we should just do this at the end of the frame, since it doesn't update anyway. So yeah, so for int I equals 0, I less than character's length. So then I'll just copy this over here. Okay. So yeah, what we're doing, yeah, we keep track of the movement, like while we're in the middle of calculating things, and then at the very end we submit it to the rigid body, and then it will smoothly move the character in between, because like we are only updating on fixed update, which runs, you know, every few frames or so, so it will try to smoothly update this position in between frames, or in between fixed update frames. Okay, so let's fix all this. So now this will just return characters dot marching position. And down here. Okay, so that makes this a little easier. Let's do source, and then I'll do hit. But I guess before we actually implement this, I should make sure that what I just did didn't break everything. So it is, I don't know what it wants me to do here. Because it says there's a semicolon, but I have one right here, and I don't see. If I remove all of that, does it compile? Oh, I need to update this. Okay, well, I'll fix that semicolon thing in a second. Let's make sure. Okay, thankfully everything still works fine. Alright. Oh, it should be an else if. Okay, that was the thing. Okay, so yeah, we collide. Collision is probably generated, but we don't actually hear about it. Or nothing happens. I guess let's just make sure. Log. Character. Collision. Also, yeah, I need to change this character ID so that they're actually different. Alright. Okay. Oh yeah, I also can notice that this other character is not being updated. And I think it's because I didn't add it, yeah, to the character control. Okay, so now it got updated at least, but not getting any collisions. have the right tag and everything. Don't think it's because it wouldn't be perpendicular. Which this is funny because we obviously are colliding, because I'm not just walking through it, but it's not. Okay, so I guess that's good to know, but for some reason oh, I think it's actually something silly. I think it is generating the collisions, but I don't call the new collision handler. Yeah, so I just need to call the bump collision handler. Yeah, I think we'll just run with it because I've already done so much, but I wanna iterate on this flow control. I don't. Okay, yeah. So now it's seeing the collisions. All right, so basically, I want. So we kind of want to move the second character out of the way of the source character. So we take. So that would be. Is it just perpendicular to the movement direction? Well, we can try it. Okay, so I guess we still need this stuff. And then we take the cross product of this move direction, and then I don't know, up, I guess, and then move the character along that. Let's just see how this looks. Well, it might be fine. We'll see. Okay, and then we just move the hit character. Okay, so I guess we use same move length maybe. I don't know. I'm just kind of. We'll just have to experiment with this. And yeah, I guess I won't mess with the momentum. Okay, let's just try it and see. Okay, well, it's letting me go inside, which is not a good thing. But other than that, it's not too bad. But yeah, I feel like it's definitely too strong. And like, what? So just kind of, yeah, you brush it away, which I think is fine, but yeah, I think it feels unnatural because it doesn't. Well, actually, I mean, I think it would be fine, except since it doesn't affect momentum, it's not smooth at all. So maybe we shouldn't actually move the character, but just like give them some momentum away from you. And then they would move on their own on the next frame. Let's just see how this looks. Okay, so nothing happens at all. I'm gonna just increase this by a pretty big number because I want to see if it's because the momentum is too small or if there's some other reason that it's not moving. Oh. Okay, well, yeah, the momentum was too small, apparently. Also, yeah, let me see. Let's print out the frame. Because if I wonder like if they're colliding during the same frame back and forth, which would kind of explain why they get whisked away so quickly. So 79 collision between 0 and 1, then on the same frame. Okay, so yeah, there's 4 collisions on the same frame. That's probably just because, oh yeah, I don't zero out the movement. Oh, hey Gowie. How are you doing tonight? Okay, and then it finally moves to 87, and then we get a collision between 0 and 1. Okay, so now character 1 has momentum. And it's, so now they're kind of colliding with each other. So there's 2 problems, I think. When, yeah, since I don't zero out the movement at the end of the frame, it doesn't, I mean, they just keep on colliding. So I could just set the momentum, or not momentum, the movement to 0, and that would fix that, but collision stuff still seems so much more complex than you tend to think. Yeah, I know. I'm getting... Well, I guess I shouldn't be too surprised because basically this character controller is the game, so I'm trying to make it feel very good, but yeah, I wanted to be a bit further than I am at this point. But I'm glad to hear you're doing good. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. About ready for the weekend, but besides that, okay. So let's just change it back to the movement. I guess, yeah, I haven't really worked very much with 3D character controllers, so I think that's another reason why this has taken me a lot of experimentation. Okay, so on the same frame, yeah, there's 3 collisions. And then on the next frame, 0 and 1, 0, 1, 1 and 0. Okay. I mean, it kind of works. It just doesn't look very good. And sometimes, I think sometimes the cross product gives like values that we don't want. Because right there, I was able to walk through it. Oops. So I don't think probably the cross product's not the correct thing to use here. Maybe we should take like the movement and then the normal vector, and then like reflect the movement along the normal vector or something like that. So trying to think. So basically, if I was moving and I hit the character, so I would reflect, and then I would kind of graze by, but then if I hit it straight on and I reflected, then I would just move backwards. So obviously, you can't just do naive reflect. I guess it would be how would I model that? Let's just try reflect and see what that looks like. So this would be the collision.normal. Okay, so it's moving me, the other character towards me, so I probably need to negate it maybe, but oh yeah, well, okay, so this movement should actually be for the source character, and then we kind of have to move the other character out of the way. So yeah. Another thing is that if both characters are moving, yeah, so if both characters like collide with each other, well, maybe, yeah, I'm trying to think, like, do I need to combine two collisions if they happen at the same time? Or maybe we can just handle both separately and it'll work out okay. Let's see, so maybe drawing a diagram will help. So we have this, the character, and it's going to move in. This way. And then we have the normal vector. So the out vector, I guess I want, so I don't actually want it to reflect. I want it to be tangent to the surface. And then this would move I guess, opposite of the normal, so it would move backwards like that. And then maybe I can have some... something like that. And then they would kind of move apart. Probably... I guess we could... So I kind of want these angles to be closer to each other. But because like if they only move us a little bit, then we pretty much just want these colliders to still be touching each other, but to have like moved away from the point of collision. If that makes sense. Okay, so I think what I can do, I can use... So this is how we got the amount of collision tangent to the movement norm, or like the movement surface. So we can use that again. Maybe, do I... Yeah, I made a math. Let's, we didn't actually need that project function after all, but... Public, static, float, 3... Kind of, we're just doing like a kind of like anti-project. I'm not sure what it's called because you take the part of the vector that you take out the part of the vector that you can project onto the normal vector. So I'll just call it that. I don't know if that's the technical term, but okay, so basically we do the kind of just take V and then minus the project. Clean up. So here, okay, so we take the dot product of the normal and the move direction and then subtract it from this vector. So is that the same math? Because I think these are both normalized, so... Let's see, because I think I can just return V minus project. So this is the length squared. So it's not quite normalizing it, but since the normal is a unit vector, that gets removed. So I think this is the same. Let's try it real quick. So I'll leave this. Okay, so C dot movement equals NMG math. Okay, so this is probably actually a little less efficient, but I kind of want to be able to use like standard functions. Okay, so no, that didn't work. Because when I moved, it made me slide really far. Yeah. Which I think is because... Oh, well, for one, I used the wrong thing here. I used momentum instead of movement, so maybe that was all it was. Okay, yeah, that was it. Okay, so it wasn't actually the math, it was... Yeah, I put the wrong variable in there, but... Okay, so that's good. Okay, so now we have that general purpose function. Okay, so I can do the same thing here. So I want... Yeah, basically I want to deflect the movement and momentum around the collision normal. And then for the hit object, we want to do the same thing, except I think this time I actually just project onto the normal instead of doing anti-project. So we take the components of the movement and momentum that are parallel to the normal vector. All right, so let's see how this looks. I don't know if it's going to be perfect, but okay, so no movement at all. Oh, that's because the normal, or that's because the second character isn't moving. Actually, it works pretty good for the main character, but that's basically just because we're just doing the same slide movement we did on the walls. Okay. Sorry about that spam. Can you not just delete messages anymore? Or do I have to... They changed all the moderation tools from when I learned them before. Anyway, I'll just block or ban him. Okay, that gets rid of the message. Yeah, I ended up banning him. I thought I could just delete the message, but whatever. Okay, so anyway, yeah, this works fine because it's basically the same sliding mechanics that we did before. But the other character is not moving, and that's because here we just project their current movement. So actually what I should do, I guess their movement should stay how it is. Oh wait, no, I think their movement should be I guess constricted to this, but their momentum should be just just added to, and not based on this, but based on the actual collision. So the source is movement. Actually, if they collide, then you would actually get like a bit of the source's momentum, huh? So maybe I just add the source's momentum. Oh, well, no, because then you would move in the same direction. So it needs to be like the source's momentum, but projected onto the collision normal. So float 3, source momentum equals... So I gotta cache it because I'm gonna get rid of it or override it. I guess I could rearrange this stuff, but... Okay, also, yeah, I'm using the anti-project method. This should just be the plain old project. So let's see how this looks. Oh, that's pretty good. Okay, actually, yeah, that looks really good. They're not like... Yeah, I can't move through it anymore. It is a little bumpy, but I think that's because like when you first collide, I'm pushing the character ahead of me with my momentum, but then they slow down eventually, and then they collide again. I don't know. I'm not gonna worry about it too much. It'd be kind of nice if they would just smoothly move along, but so I want to check to make sure that if I move it into a wall, that I can't like push it through the wall or something. So it looks like that works. Okay, and it'll even slide against the wall if I hit it at a glancing angle, so that's pretty cool. Alright, Gowie. Okay, so yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Probably, so right now you kind of like, well, there's no conservation of momentum because I just like add my momentum. Well, I guess there kind of is, because if you... Actually, yeah, there is. Probably, yeah, I should like add a bit of the hits momentum into this as well. Let's see. So if I make this... I'm trying to think what would happen if both characters collide. Okay, I guess that I need to make... yeah, in order to test that, I need to be able to control the second player. Oh, excuse me. So... yeah, because I think... See, this isn't symmetric, so... If I tried to combine these collisions so we only processed it once, then the source and the hit like wouldn't get the same end velocities if we flip them, which I kind of want to happen. So how would I do that? So basically, I think what I have to do is just add this momentum. Okay, so let's see. So the source momentum would be, so we anti-project the source momentum on the collision normal, and then we'd also add the hit object's momentum. And then we'd have to do the same thing here. Okay, let's see. Okay, but yeah, then the movements wouldn't be symmetric. Well, I guess actually they are kind of, because yeah, it just depends, like, because this collision normal can't be the same for both. Alright, let's see. So float 3 source is this. And then the hit glancing momentum is okay, so we set the source to is this right? Okay, I think I'm... So this is true. Okay, so I know that I'm not going to be able to do this because I'm going to need to cache some variables, but yeah, for the source we take the... yeah, it's momentum that's parallel with the collision normal, and then the hit momentum that's parallel with the collision normal. And then... wait, is that right? Because no, it would be... Well, no, I guess that is true, yeah, because when we hit... Yeah, so if the hit's momentum is 0, nothing happens, but if it's moving... Yeah, if it's also moving, then yeah, we would be affected. Okay, and then, but we got to do the exact opposite thing here. Where we take the parallel part of the source momentum and then the tangent part of our own momentum. Okay. Alright, so let's see. I think... this should work pretty well. I think, so pretty sure this is now symmetric. So if I switched out this source and the hit and then reflected the normal on the collision, then these would be the same, I think. I don't need either of those. Okay, so let's, hopefully I didn't mess up that math. So it's still, yeah, it works fine when the hit character is static. So now I need to try, this will be fun to try to get to work, but I need to try to make these characters both move and collide at on the same frame. And I'll just leave it how it is, except I think it's going to be a little strange because if they collide on the same frame, we'll generate 2 collision events, which I think will make them move, like, basically this will just be too strong. So what I'll need to do is have this collision handler will loop through all the collisions before checking the type, and then it will like collapse collisions that are equal. Okay, but to do that I need to update this input character controller. Who wouldn't have thought of that? Yeah, I actually ran into this problem with a previous 2D platformer, so that's the only reason I knew about it. With the symmetric collision events anyway. Alright, so basically I want to change these keys. So what is this? So I think the easiest way is just make serializable fields here. Serialize field, private. Okay, what is this? Key control. Yeah, and I'm trying to use the new input system just because I want to learn it. Okay, so we have the down key. Okay, I guess I shouldn't call it down. Let's call it backward and forward. And then left and right. Okay, let's see if I can actually add in those. Like if they're actually serializable, they might not be. Okay, they're not. Yeah, which I guess makes sense because it's an actual like function. So I thought, isn't there some way? There's got to be some way that you can just specify like a key code. This is pressed. I don't know what that button press point means. Check whether the given control is considered pressed. Okay, well no, that doesn't work because that's like checking if anything on the current keyboard is pressed, I think. I feel like I don't really want to have to create one of those input asset things because I kind of want to be able to set these at runtime. Let's see. Unity, new input. System configurable keys. Input binding represents the connection between an action and one or more controls. An action can have an arbitrary number of bindings pointing to it. Multiple bindings can reference the same control. Sometimes you might want to have several controls to act in unison. The most common example is using WASD keys and keyboard. Blah, 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 blah. This is difficult to implement with normal bindings. You can bind a button control to an action, expecting a vector 2, but doing so results in the exception at runtime, blah, blah. Okay, so this is like if you want to combine, I see, a left and a right. I mean, that's pretty cool, but not what we want. Okay, so what is this? My action. Input actions are designed to separate the logical meaning of an input from the physical means of input. Generate the input. Instead of writing input code like this, you can write code like this. So I don't really want it to be event driven. I'd rather just pull. You can create actions in one of the following ways. Use a dedicated editor for input action assets. Embed them in monobehavior components. Manually load them from JSON or create them directly in code. Okay, well that's good to know. Okay, so I guess I can... Oh, so I just do an input action. Oops. Okay, let's see what that brings up. Because yeah, I might make... I don't know, if I have time, I'd like to make a way that you can set these keys so that people can use a numpad or a gamepad. Oh, yeah. But, okay, so this is a nice little thing. So we can add a binding. Okay, that's kind of cool. Oops, didn't mean to open that. Yeah, so in the future, I'll probably have a way that you can set all these, since I guess you can, oh, it says you can create them in code, so I assume I'll be able to pass these around in functions. Let's see, embedding actions and monobehaviors. You must manually enable and disable actions and action maps that are embedded in monobehaviors. Well, that's fine. Load from JSON. And then we can also create them in code. So then I just use the action variable. So yeah, so I just want to make sure that I could create these later and then pass them. But we don't have to, we'll just use the values in the asset for now. So then can I just... This is actually the left. So can I just say left key is pressed? No. I don't really want to use an event. Whether the action was triggered this frame. So I think that would only happen on the very first frame. Maybe. Let's see, performed. Event that is triggered when the action has been fully performed. I don't know. Would this still... I kind of just want to get the value. So maybe I need to call this read value then. Reads the current value of the action. This is the last value received on input action started. If the action is cancelled... Okay. Alright, well let's just try this, I guess. I kind of have a feeling that it's only going to return true on the first frame, but maybe I'm wrong. So this is a backwards key. Okay, so let's see how that looks. Okay, yeah, so it doesn't move. Oh, well actually, okay, I haven't bound anything yet, so that would help. So I want this to be a button, and I want hold multi-tap bar press. I don't know. So many options. Okay, that was called an interaction, right? Okay, maybe I don't actually need to mess with that. I can just add a binding and I want it to be so this is the backwards key, so this should be the S key. Okay. I mean, it seems very versatile, so that's nice. It does take a little bit more to set up than the old system, but I think it's a lot more, like I said, versatile, so I think yeah, it'll be easier to adjust. Anyways, let's see how that looks. Okay, so I'm still pressing the buttons and nothing's happening, and I think that's just because that triggered event doesn't work. So let me see. What about... An interaction represents a specific input pattern. For example, a hold is an interaction that requires a control to be held for at least a minimum amount of time. So I guess this is kind of cool, but I really just want to know if the button's been pressed. That does seem pretty powerful though. So maybe I just need to use that read value then. And it's a boolean. So it says if I can move left, then we'll know I'm on the right track. Okay, no, that doesn't work either. Let me see what this gives us. Maybe a button doesn't have a boolean then. It's always giving me false. What happens if I gave it an integer? It's always outputting 0 there. All right. Put bindings. This is what we wrote earlier. Or wrote earlier. Maybe, okay, let's just say Unity new input system get if button is pressed. I don't want to use events. Using press on, saying press on release, you should see performed. Pulling an action like that will indeed not observe, performed, or cancelled. The reason is that these simply happen instantly, and the action then immediately goes back to waiting. So yeah, event comes in, action performs, calls this callback, and then goes back to waiting. I mean, that's fine. I just want to tell if it's pressed. Okay, this is something different. I can't believe I saw something like this. I must be missing something because seems like pretty simple. Input system. Before it was just get button, and that's what I want in the old system. Okay, this might help me. Get button C to get access. You can also use button control is pressed to detect if a button was pressed. Okay, well, that's fine, but I don't think I have access to that. Okay, I mean, the events are fine, but it's gonna complicate my code a lot. Force button-like behavior on the control reference and binding, add a press interaction to it. Okay, they really wanna... You can also use the button control is pressed to detect. I mean, that's fine. I don't know. Because right now I have input action, which I don't think is related. Because the button control is not... a child of input action. just everything is using the. Yeah, see this get key down. That's what I. Okay, that's the old input system. Oh, there's got to be a way to do it without events. I'm gonna switch back to the old input system if there's not. I mean, events are fine, but it's not. That would really complicate because I'd have to worry about registering and unregistering them all. And then what if I change the key, the actions and stuff? Maybe I just need to use that hold interaction and then give it like a 0. That seems like such a roundabout way to do it. New input system confuses you, requires a lot more input. You hear it's easy and simple, don't see it yourself. Yeah, I kind of agree after researching it. All I want to do is check if this button is pressed down. I really do like how you can like rebind stuff during runtime. But, I mean, this seems really simple. And like I said, moving to an input or event-driven system is just going to complicate everything. That's what interests you as well. Well, hopefully we'll figure it out tonight. Move your character jumping solves problems, blah blah blah. It's the old input system, yeah. You still use the old input system because it seems straightforward. Yeah, I have until now, but that was one of the things I wanted to try in this project I'm working on, is try to learn the new input system. So, I mean, I don't mind doing a little research, but I wouldn't have thought this would have been so difficult. Let's see. Action type button. Input action, named action that triggers callbacks in response to input. Actions use an input binding. Okay, that's fine. Each action has a name, which must be unique. Action map. Okay. Yeah, so these action map things. Maybe I should use that instead of having individual actions, but yeah, I could use this action editor. But since I want to change this stuff at runtime, I don't really think that would help much. That's all good. Oh, is this it? I had to enable it, maybe? I forgot about that. Okay, yeah, maybe this is the reason why this read value wasn't working. Hopefully this will let us be able to get the current state of the button. I got an error. Cannot read the value type int. Keyboard A is bound to action left key. Keyboard A, the control of the value type float. Okay, so buttons are float. Maybe it's greater than 0 if it's pressed or something. Oh, finally that works. Okay. So yeah, you have to enable it, and then you can read value as a float, and if it's greater than 0, it's been pressed. It's still a little bit more confusing than the old system, but I guess we have to give up something to be able to rebind. Yeah, winning finally. Alright, so now movement is back. Okay, and I need to update the jump. So maybe I should use one of those action maps. Let me see what that looks like. I guess, yeah, I need to be able to set these also through code. Movement map. Thanks for the follow, Awkward Brian. Okay, so this shows up here. Okay, so yeah, you just bind everything through here. So I think that might be better. Let me make sure that you can create them from code. Creating actions in code. So you can create new actions. Okay, and you can create a new action map. Okay. I just wanted to check because I'd like to be able to pass this to this class to change the values. Now, how do I get like a specific action from it? So movement map dot get or maybe I look up an action by name or ID. Okay. Oh, how would I guess that's like shaders. To get the idea, yeah, excuse me, to get the idea, I'd probably have to cache it. Okay, so how do I name it? Rename backwards. Okay, let's have it all lowercase. Just so we won't have problems with that. Okay, so forwards, left, right, and then jump. Okay, so now these are all tagged in one object, so they should be easier to pass around, I hope. Oops. Okay, yeah, so I'll delete that. Okay, so now I think I can just call enable on the action map, which is easier to deal with. So the only, I mean, this is probably less efficient, but I don't know if it becomes a problem. We can always cache the IDs and then just use their IDs. Like, kind of like doing a shader property names. Okay, so that's fine. And now we need to check if jump is pressed the same way. Okay. So let's try all that just to make sure it's all good still. We can move around and jump. Okay. All right, so I'll go ahead and apply that. But then on the second character, I want to give it different input. First, I remove the component. Can I re-add it? Revert. Okay, and then, so for here, I'll use the arrow keys. Okay, I guess it's down arrow probably. I'm glad to see that they support so many different gamepads. I would like to add support for them in this game. Okay, so what about jumping? I guess maybe the insert key? I'm not sure. Keypad. Yeah, I think it's fine. Well, so far it seems fine if you can once you like figure out how everything works. I still don't really like the that how you have to say read value greater than 0 to tell if a button is pressed, but I think they're just really pushing using events, but it's not really the style of this code base. Okay, so yeah, second character I can move around. So okay, so this whole thing was I was gonna see what happens if these characters collide while they're both moving. Okay, did they just go through each other? I think they did. Um, my brain is having a difficult time controlling both of them. But yeah, so yeah, they definitely just went through each other, which is definitely not what I want. Yeah, I don't have any code that tries to resolve this type of thing. At some point, if they're overlap, we'll have to push them apart, but all right, Gowie, have a great night. I'll see you later. Do I use set position? I just use the rigid body move position. But I'm not using Unity's actual physics. I'm kind of rolling my own raycast based version. Just so I have more control over the jumping physics and stuff. So I'm trying to figure out, like we have this system set up where they kind of collide, but it seems like if they're moving fast enough, the game just lets them move through each other. Okay, let's I'm gonna make this a little easier on myself and give them different colors. What am I looking for? A folder. let's make it the lit and set it to red, and then player 2 will be blue. Alright, so now hopefully that'll help me control them a little better. Alright, so oh, I still have the debug log. Oh, it wasn't running because I turned off messages, but I wanted to see, like, do they still, like, does the collision still register or not? Let me try to get this set up. Okay, so no, the collision doesn't even register. Okay, that's not what I wanted to hear. Why would that happen? Because I'm using ray casting, so it's not like, oops. It's not like they like interpolate over each other, because the raycast goes from the position all the way to their next position, so I wouldn't, it's not like they're moving too fast. So I think it's some logic that I've set up. I'm trying to okay, well, I wasn't expecting this. Oh, actually, okay, I better know it's, yeah, this is probably my own fault. So I had, oh, actually, wait, no, that's probably not it. I was gonna say, I had this thing that if they're perpendicular, then we ignore the collision, but actually the normal should be parallel, but opposite. So I'm gonna remove this line just to see if that is what's causing it, because I actually don't know if we really need it anymore. It was to help with walls, but I think another thing I added fixed that. Oh. Okay. Okay, no. Okay. Oh, that time we are getting collisions, I guess. Not always. I'm watching this counter down here to see if it increases every time they pass by each other. It does most of the time, but not every time. Okay. Oh, I thought I was finally starting to get out of the raycast rabbit hole, but seems like still something going on. So is there some point where we wouldn't? I mean, I guess the other thing is that the collision is being detected, but it's not running through here. I wonder, something I can think of. I don't know if this is possible, but so the first loop of our collision resolver, the vector is actually pointing towards the ground because of gravity. So they collide with the ground, and then we take off the component of the momentum in the that's clipped by the ground collision. But since the vector is not going straight towards the ground, it probably does move a slight amount. So I wonder if during that slight bit of movement they can move close to each other, that the colliders would clip. And if that is the issue, how can I, well, test it, and then how can I fix it? Maybe, so we'll increase the inset for a bit and see if they still collide. Okay, well they didn't that time. Okay, I guess something like that was the issue. Oh no. That was weird, it wouldn't let me push until I stop moving. Ugh. Hmm. What if I made this like even bigger? So in general, you don't want to have a very big inset because it makes the collider less. Oh, now it's starting to sink again. That's not supposed to happen. But thought I had fixed that. But I mean, this inset is pretty big, so probably. Well, when I have a big inset like that, they seem not to collide. Okay. Well, more raycast stuff. Hmm. I don't know what. I'm tired of working on this raycast stuff. I want to get on to the rest of the game, but it's kind of a major bug. It's just annoying because the whole thing is because if we set this inset to 0, then they'll start falling through because basically they'll clip with ground beneath them. I wonder. Okay. Oh, it didn't update because it's in play mode. Oh. For some reason now. Okay. You just have to move a little bit. Okay, I'm just trying to think. So I think the issue is that they move. Like I was saying that. So here, since the vector is angled down because of gravity, they hit the ground, and then we subtract the bit, basically the entire y component out. But since it's not completely straight down, they move a little bit in their direction of like horizontal movement. And I think in that point they're close enough maybe that the collision clips through them. I guess that's what's happening because increasing the inset fixes it. All right. Well, I think still have an hour on this stream. I don't really want to work on this right now, so I think I'm gonna move and maybe get some art done. I don't know. I did a lot of research on this yesterday, and it's like it feels like other people aren't having my issue, so I don't really know what I'm doing. That's bad. I almost kind of want to just start the collider from scratch and see if I can fix it that way, which I mean would be a huge waste of time, but I feel like there's just something. Anyway, I don't know. I know that's correct. I was so optimistic that we had finally put this behind us, but yeah. Okay, well, yeah. I just need to think about what I need to do. So let's do some art. Guess I'll change the stream info. So we're gonna make some models. And this is digital art. Imagine making a multiplayer game where your math skills don't go on algebra. Yeah, multiplayer is like a whole nother level. So if you think I'm having issues now, then wait until you get like network interpolation and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so basically, like the game, we're making a copy of Bash, or not a copy, like a reimagining of Bash and Cash, which is a Mario Party 1 game where everybody has hammers and runs around and tries to hit Bowser. So I want to try to think of, I need some kind of character that's roughly shaped like a capsule and can jump. and can also hold a hammer. So I was kind of thinking, and also I want it to be relatively simple because I can't spend weeks working on the model. So I was thinking maybe something like a little penguin might be kind of fun. That's what you're doing. 2 languages, Unity 3D, and Node.js. Let's not talk about it. Well, you'll learn a lot, I'm sure. Thankfully, I think there's some. I haven't really worked in Node.js, but I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of like libraries that might help you out. I hope. What kind of game are you making? Is it like a shooter or a platformer? Okay, so yeah, also my Blender skills are a little rusty, so yeah, this might be a little fun in that respect as well. Okay. Oh yeah, I've got to add an object. Let's add. I guess we'll start with a circle. Have you ever played StarCraft? There's a custom map called SCV Football. I have played StarCraft, but I don't know that specific game. Okay, let's I think I'm gonna start pretty low poly. I haven't decided like what the art style will be. So um but I mean, yeah, we want to be able to make these relatively quickly, so we shouldn't have too many. Let's just do 16. That'll be probably better. Get units, get the ball, score a touchdown. You're making that custom StarCraft 1 minigame from way back in the day. Oh, okay. Actually, yeah, I kind of do remember that actually, but it's been like, yeah, it's been a long time. That'll be fun. All right. So let's start by making the general shape. And I want it to kind of be like capsule shaped. So let's extrude upward. Oh yeah, I always forget that. Yeah, I press Y to extrude in the Y direction, but unlike Unity, Y is what's it? Press the wrong key apparently. But yeah, the Y axis is um, left and right in Blender and not up like it is in Unity. So E to extrude and Z to go up. I don't know, does it really matter? Okay, so edge loop, press Control R, and we'll just bring in this bottom area. And then up here, I guess let's find a picture of a little penguin. Okay, so probably I'm kind of thinking I'm gonna keep like kind of this shape where it's kind of like a dome shape and then their head is just connected to their body, so not really a realistic penguin. So let's extrude and then oops. There's probably an easier way to do this, but I feel like that's a little too steep actually. I guess I do want them to have a little bit of a neck. So let's create a couple edge loops. And then we can scale this in. All right, something like that. I think the... Oops. Okay, I need to turn on X-ray mode. Right there. I thought the option to select hidden faces was up here. Oh, I think it's this button. For some reason I didn't see that. Okay, so the reason I needed that because I want to select faces that are behind the mesh so that I can move the whole part upwards. I wanted the body to be a little bit taller. Also, I think that the head in general is too big. So we'll do something like that, and now kind of look like a snowman type thing. Snowman penguin. Alright. Alright, let's try and get the silhouette to look nice. A little plain right now, but yeah, we don't have a beak or anything. Okay. I think that the head is too cylindrical. So let's... Oops. Something like that. I kind of want the head to be more circular. Right now it's the head's too like a pumpkin. So let's rescale some of this. Something about it's not quite right. Maybe the shoulders need to slope down more. Okay, I think that's looking better. Okay, so let's try to add some details. Now, my least favorite thing about modeling is UVs, so I've been trying to decide. Well, there's two styles I was thinking of. One is kind of like a pixel art modeling style, sort of like Minecraft, although, well, I don't want people to jump on me, but the art of Minecraft is probably one of the worst things about it. So I try to improve it a little bit, but and then the other thing is you can do kind of like flat shading where you use gradients, and then instead of having to like UV map your entire model, you basically just say, okay, I want this part to be green or yellow or whatever, and then you have like a yellow gradient in your texture, and then you can just place it there. So I kind of moved towards that second option because I think it will just lend itself to look better with like toon shading, which is the kind of a style I think I'm going to go with. But yeah, this model's not really... If I wanted it to be pixel artish, I would... Shouldn't be so spherical, but... so we'll try and see how this looks. I mean, after I get a few assets in and I'm not feeling it, we might switch to that pixel art style. Okay, so, but yeah, with the gradient style, you kind of need to, like any changes in color should actually be like on the model itself instead of being painted with a UV map. Not sure which one looks better. I feel like penguins are kind of more pear-shaped. Okay, so anyway, let's start making the face. Alright, so he just needs a little beak. Oh, that's a sad picture. And some eyes. I'll have to think about... Yeah, other players might have slightly different models. You could also just do color swaps, but that's not as fun. I guess it depends on how much time we have. Alright, so for a little beak... I'll just cut, and we'll clean up the geometry later. We can turn off X-ray. Okay, so that's Alt-Z. Oops. And then I'll use K again to cut another set of vertices. I think I'll do it one more time. Don't know why there was an extra point right there. It's looking more like an owl beak or something. So penguin beaks are straight. Well, there's a couple different kinds. I'm not really feeling the long like emperor penguin beak. Something like this, I think. So yeah, it just needs to stick out more and not curve downwards, I think. Yeah, that's like more like an owl or something. Which maybe we'll have an owl friend too, but I want to do a penguin first. Oops. Press the wrong button. Okay. Thankfully, I knew how to fix that. Okay, something like that. Oh, these are triangles. I was gonna say geometry like this can sometimes look weird when you import it into Unity because it chooses a bad side to form a triangle from. Like, I think this part here will need to manually cut across like that. I don't know, is that a penguin beak? Still doesn't really scream penguin to me. So, I mean, they have this funny little neck that just like turns into the beak. But I guess our penguin doesn't look quite like that. I guess maybe that's what this part is. Okay, so now there's a weird divot right there. Okay, I think I need to change that. So let's dissolve those edges and instead we'll cut across like this. So that should fix that problem. Okay, let's bring this into Unity and see what it looks like so far. Doesn't remember. All right. And then in Unity. Okay, so the normals are flipped. That's an easy fix. It's also quite big, but we'll make the colliders match the penguin instead of the other way around. So to flip the normals, we select all and then I forget the keybind for this, but you can go to face. Or is it in mesh? Mesh, okay, normal. So it's Alt N, and then you can just say flip. Okay, so now they're facing the right way. And you just want, it's a good idea to bring it into Unity every once in a while, just to make sure that there's not any strange little lighting, or because Unity has to decompose every face into triangles, so There might be weird little divots you want to fix before you get too far into it. Okay, so that's fine. Okay, so I know we're gonna do eyes and I'm trying to think how to do the eyes actually. Because penguin eyes is kind of, I want it to be a bit more expressive. Like you can barely see the penguin eyes. So I'll just create it on one side and then we'll, oops, mirror it. With the style I'm going with, you have to model the eye into the mesh. I'm trying to figure out how I want it to look. I'm not sure actually. I think let's come back to that. Let's do the feet and the tail. Now I think about it, I'm kind of leaning more towards the pixel style, but I've already started this much because yeah, if I did the pixel style, I'd have to, yeah, we'd have to basically half these edges, I think, for it to look good, but that might be fun to try out. All right, so for feet, you can barely see penguin feet. But I guess you can see them when they're standing like that. So basically, we'll just have like little, I guess they don't really have flippers, but they'll kind of look like flippers here, I think. All right, so I don't want them to join together. I was gonna say maybe we can just extrude here, but I think we need to add another edge. Something like that. Okay, that's not too bad. think I moved it off the plane. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we don't need to model too much detail on the feet. I think I need to bring these out a little bit more. Okay, yeah, stop with that for now. Now we need to add a little tail. So we can basically do the same thing. We'll cut. Let's see. I mean, penguin tails, yeah, they're pretty short. So I was thinking that maybe we'll bring it up higher, but I don't think that would look right. Actually, probably don't even need any more geometry, to be honest. Yeah, I think we're done there. Okay, so let's flip it so we can get a better look at it with 2 feet. And we'll want add a mirror modifier. Oh, there it was. Okay, that's fine. Guess we should add the top of the head. Okay, to do that, I'm going to need to apply this. Switch back to edge selection, and I'll just press F to create a face. Actually, no, I think that we'll need one more extrude. Okay, now what do I want to do on the top of his head? I feel like I should put something up there. We could give him a funny hat. Give him like a little cowlick. I'm trying to think. Well, maybe we should give him, I mean, I can't give him a Mario hat, but maybe I should do something like that since we are getting our inspiration from Mario Party. Yeah, so we'll give him like a little baseball cap or something like that. I think that'll be cute. Okay, so we'll leave that for later because that's going to be a separate thing. Okay, I guess I should add, yeah, he needs wings. Ooh, yeah, animation is not something I've done much in Blender at all. So that should be interesting. That's a big plus to having like the pixel art style, because then everything's just, you know, boxes and they can kind of rotate around. But here we'd want to... So... I'm pretty sure I want more vertices here for animation's sake. I guess we'll need one more ring at least for like the top of the fin and then our wing and then the bottom of the wing. Okay, so this will be like the top of its shoulders. Something like that. Okay. So penguins. So they just kind of come out. I'm trying to think. They actually seem to be more oriented on their back, but I don't know if that would actually look very good in our character. I was trying to decide like which faces we should extrude the wing out of. Should it be like these two? Or should it be these three? I feel like it should be slightly leaning towards the front because that will just look better with animations, I think. Why don't I'm gonna turn back on mirroring, so I got to delete half of the faces again. Oh, yeah. I need to turn on see-through. Alright, so then we add a mirror. Okay, so select these three and let's extrude. I guess we'll make them do a little T-pose. Okay, it looks pretty blocky right now, but oh, by extruding I made this ring not select correctly anymore. Oh, I'm trying to move on the y-axis again when it should be the z-axis. Something like that. That already looks better, actually. Here, and I think should move these vector or these points a little bit. I think, yeah, the wings need a little bit more shape. So he's got to be able to hold a hammer. So I'll have to like... Sure, I need to think about that. So, yeah, they basically hold it over their shoulder. So, I mean, he can hold a hammer with one hand over his shoulder. He can't reach around with the other wing very easily. That's true. Something I need to think about, huh? I guess I could give him longer wings. I mean, because these are pretty short. So let's get rid of that loop I did. That's not what I meant to do. An overhead hammer? Oh, I meant to say like over his shoulder. I mean, the animations here. Could be like Donkey Kong, he holds it with one hand. Alright, okay, another thing I have to think of is how this will look. Because he's at a T-pose right now, but he doesn't have any shoulders. So I need to add something like that so that he can bend his wings down. So probably this part here should be softened a little bit. Something like that, and then then I can bring this down. Yeah, it's not too bad. Obviously, I think, yeah, in the main animation, these shoulders would have to come down as well. Okay, but kind of coming together. Move that back a little bit. Something like that, maybe? Alright, I mean, it's not looking too bad. I think he'll look a lot better, I think, with the hat, because right now he kind of lacks personality. Now I'm kind of thinking I should have connected it back on this face as well, because it kind of looks weird like that. Can I fix that now? I think I can just delete these faces. And then select. I don't know, this is gonna be kind of wonky. Like that, and then we just gotta fix this ring. Actually, that looks pretty good with it. Is this right though? I think I need one more edge like that. And then bring those points out. But I don't know. Yeah, it looks just kind of messy. I think that would be better if I just start that part over. Ah. Well, I was gonna try to be fancy, but I guess we'll just select the faces. There's not that many. Okay, I have like, I don't know what I was thinking there. I added extra edges when they didn't need to be. Oh well. Oops. I need to dissolve edges, not delete. Okay, and now we can fix this just by selecting edges and creating a new face, and then we can use the knife tool. Alright. Okay, so I'll move this down a bit before I get started. That doesn't look right. Okay, we'll leave it. And then just select these faces, extrude outward, give him a shoulder joint. Now these are okay. I was gonna say, don't know if I think the top part is straight. I think we need to bring these in a lot actually because penguin wings are actually pretty slender. There's a lot going on right there. I would like these also to be brought in. Okay, that doesn't look too bad actually. I was afraid that it wouldn't fit well. Okay. Alt Z. I think that the wings are actually way too long now. But maybe we want him to have long wings so that he can carry the hammer pretty well. I think that probably is going to be a little better. Okay, now so these, yeah, this shoulder definitely needs to be raised a little bit. That does look kind of funny before. I'm wondering if right here is going to be some weird crimping. Okay, in general, yeah, the profile is too thick. So let's, yeah, the tips of the wings should be quite a bit thinner, I think. Actually, I think I need a whole ring right there, don't I? I think that would look better. And probably another one here. Let's clean that up a little bit. Right. Yeah, that's already looking better, I think. All right. Anyway, yeah, the top is too flat for sure. Needs a little bit of roundness. Yeah, these two corners are, which I think it's mostly this one. Just bring that down a little. Yeah, I'm seeing a weird divot. Same thing here. Yeah, so these polygons I might have to manually triangulate as well. What's going on right there? Okay. Anyway, that's looking pretty good. Okay, so yeah, I still need to do texturing and stuff, but I think I'll wait until next stream to do that because I might try to model a more blocky version and just see which one I'm feeling more. Because yeah, as I've been doing this, I've flip-flopped between both techniques like multiple times, so. I mean, the pixel art version, it would be a little easier to make stuff for, but can't do as many cool shader things with it maybe. But it also maybe be a little faster. Because I am a little worried about my timeline for this project because I have to have it done by the middle of August. Actually, a little bit before, because that's when I need to have my video out about it. And yeah, the collider stuff is taking me a lot longer than I was budgeted for, or than I had budgeted for. Anyway, let's I think I'll import this into Unity and see what it looks like. What am I doing this for? There's a big well, a group of like game development YouTube channels have decided that they're going to try to remake every Mario Party minigame, and I was invited to participate, so I got this Bash and Cash game. Actually, some people's videos should start going out pretty soon, I think. But yeah, mine isn't until the middle of August. I'm kind of tempted to see if some people have had to drop out and other minigames are free now, so I can switch. But I don't know. Bash and Cash, I think will be fun. It's just yeah, that the platforming or the controller is being annoying, but. Anyway, okay, so yeah, this looks, I think it's looking pretty good. Okay, so I have like 5 minutes. Let's try and make a cap real quick. Or start on it anyway. Start with cylinder. I think I had 16, so we'll make it have the same as the penguin. I don't need a endpoint. All right. Kind of want it to be. It'd be cute if it was oversized. Oversized. But yeah, I think that the Mario Party event or whatever. Actually, I don't know if there's a name for it, but I think it will be pretty fun. And yeah, it's cool to be able to collaborate with other game development channels. All right. So I'm going to be inspired by Mario's hat. So I kind of want to get a similar silhouette. Obviously, we can't use the same design, but okay, so kind of just flops out on the front. Okay, yeah. I was gonna say I'm not sure if a cylinder is the best way to model this. Let's actually bring it off his head so I can look. So yeah, basically it's like one big puff on the front and then a little on the back. And then the cap is kind of just packed on. It doesn't have like a band or something that it meets the top of the hat. All right, I think. All right, so again, we can. I'm gonna go ahead and mirror this. So Alt Z. So I guess we'll do the top part. So it's kind of... what I'm trying to do here. Oh, okay. I was trying to flip to the other side. There we go. Oh, my kitty's been in here most of the stream. She always wants to get out like right when my stream is ending. She knows when it's time to go eat, I guess. Oh, but yeah. Okay, well, I'm sorry I didn't get to finish the hat, but actually already is looking like a pretty nice tiara. Maybe we can use it for Princess Peach Penguin. Oh, this is not aligned correctly. Oh, I know. It's because I scaled it, but didn't. Yeah, if you scale it when you have the mirrored, it doesn't. Like it will not keep it in a ring. What am I trying to do? Thanks, Brian. Yeah, I do like. I think the penguin's looking pretty good, and I think I can go with this look. I'm not sure. I kind of want to do the. Well, like I said, I keep swapping between the two ideas, but I'll just think about it over the weekend, and yeah, try to fix that bug. I'd rather. Hopefully it'll be. I'll have time to fix it, on Sunday or something. But anyway, I guess I better wrap up. Yeah, because it's midnight. But yeah, thanks everybody for coming by and watching. I really do appreciate it. And thanks Brian for following. Um yeah, so I'm live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 p.m. US Eastern time. So I'll be back on Monday to probably work more on this game, either the penguin or gameplay. And I'll put some links in chat if you enjoyed the stream and you'd like to talk to me on Twitter or whatever. Feel free. I also have a YouTube channel where I upload a bunch of game development tutorials, and there'll be a new one about grass probably in the next couple weeks. So yeah, that should be pretty fun. But besides that, I'll see you Monday, and I hope you all have a great weekend. Thanks, Brian. You too. All right. Bye-bye.